Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard to this flight in the Hot Start Challenger 650. What kind of got me back into this was actually I was flying in the new Falcon 50 from Contrail, and then I was like, oh, let me get another aircraft, BizJet aircraft, and I remembered, oh my god, there's the Hot Start Challenger 650. So that's what got me to pick this back up again. Lovely livery that is representative of Soarer. Anywho, we got AEP going on. That's what gets us these nice crisp ground textures that are really hard to find anywhere else. That gets us these objects that are actually in really good high definition buildings. We have FBO buildings, also look great. We have SimHeaven X-World, which gets us pretty decent looking auto-gen scenery. It's no Microsoft Flight Sim, but it is at least something. Of course, with auto scenery, or whatever it's called. Look at this little hotel. Pretty decent. Alright, head back in. We'll get this started up here. What we'll do is get the gear trucks out of the way, head into the flight deck, and we'll get ourselves on our way. We'll go to the charts, and we are taking off from Oakland, so there's that. We do have our APU operative, so we are going to use our APU. What we'll do here is get our battery master on for now. Okay, and it's going to start giving us some oral warnings. And then once this display is on, we will run through the checklist, before start checklist, and get through all of that. Okay, so to get our APU on, actually let's first come down here and we'll go to the AC elect page. And then you can see the AC voltimeter and the actual the buses and electrical power. Anywho, what we'll do here is we'll get the power fuel switch on. You can see that this will illuminate, and then we'll start up the APU, and it goes into the, well, it starts up here, and then once we're at 100 RPM, and we have the avail light, we will be able to get our APU generator on, and we'll have AC power powering our electrical buses. Okay. And if we look up here, here's the avail light, so we'll get the APU generator on. And there we have 115 volts supplying electrical power to our electrical buses. And then we'll start a clock, actually, start the chrono. Once we get to the 6-minute mark, we'll go ahead and get the AC/DC utility on. And then after about 12 minutes, we'll go ahead and get some APU bleed air and air conditioning as well. We'll come over to the EFIS, I guess? Whatever, this panel here, and we'll open up the checklist menu. So upper menu, and we'll go to the checklist, go to the normal menu, and we'll go into flight compartment checklist. So AC/DC electrics on, nav logo lights. That is one other thing that I do need to get, is the nav light. And cockpit lights, we'll have it bright for daytime. Lamp test is fine. Duct monitor, FMS database. And then, and then we'll set up the FMS. So we'll head down, and we'll go to the index page, go to the status page, and we'll make sure that we have the active database, and it's currently July 6th, I think, July 7th. So we actually the nav database will update tomorrow, but it is up to date for now. And then pause in it. You can see that we do have about 5 minutes till our IRS is aligned, and that we can get some GNSS position. But what we'll do for now is we'll put in Oakland, and we'll set that into our position for now. And then we'll go ahead and uplink our route here. So flight plan recall, and we're here in Oakland. And we're headed to HSH, Henderson Executive. Okay, and send. And that will send the flight plan. We do need hydraulic pressure to get our parking brake on, but that is one of the next line items in the before start checklist, or the flight initialization checklist. So, anywho, okay, that's good. Anti-skid armed and tested. So we'll arm the well, the already is in the arm position. News door is cleared. Hydraulic 3A pump on, and we'll check for the brake pressure to set our parking brake. So, we'll change this from the AC electrical page over to the hydraulic page. I'll pop this open while we turn on the hydraulic 3A pump, set it to the auto, and you can see that we have good brake pressure. This is pressurizes to about 3,000 psi, and when I actually actuate my toe brakes here, we get a dip in hydraulic pressure to about 2950, and I have it back up, and it goes back up to 3,000 psi. You can see the hydraulic fluid level is at 68%, and the rest is at 75%. But we'll come back down to the pedestal, and we will push in and see how this hydraulic fluid keeps dipping down the more I use the hydraulic to actuate what surfaces we're actuating. So anywho, we'll set our parking brake, and we'll run through the rest of this checklist here. And then we'll get all of the rest of the hydraulics on. So we'll get the hydraulic 1B, 3B, and 2B all to the auto position. Okay, so that looks good. You can see that the quantity is good, but there's no hydraulic pressure, and that's because our engines are not running. Okay, so electrical panel is fine, AC/DC utility switch. We'll get this on after 2 more minutes on the chronometer, and then we'll be able to get that on. And then after that, we can open up the 10th stage and isolation valve, well, the LCV, and then the 10th stage isolation valve. Once about 12 minutes elapses, I believe is what it is. Anywho, it looks like our flight plan has, well, let's see here, GNSS only. And that's about that. So we're still waiting for our flight plan to come in. Ours is still aligning. Okay. The auto throttle system says fail. To get out of that, all we have to do is push in on the auto throttle disconnect switch, and that will extinguish that. Alright, it changes to that mode. Okay, as the chronometer ticks up to 6 minutes here, we'll go ahead and get the AC/DC utility on. And we'll go ahead and actually we'll open up the APU LCV and the isolation valve and get some air conditioning to cool down that cabin. I think with, and I'll actually just reset the chronometer. And if we go to the cabin, you can actually see that the temperature, we like to cool it just a little bit with how roasting hot it is outside. Okay. So we're still waiting on that flight plan. It might take a while until we get the flight plan in here. Oakland to Henderson. Oh, it's HND, that's why. KHND. HSH is our alternate. So let's send that. There is a, well, let's see if I can change the title. Oh shit. I don't know if I can change it, but anyhow, we'll go to the route. Oops. Secondary flight plan, and activate that, and execute it. That was a mistake on my part. But anyhow, we're going to Henderson, HND. Okay. Alright, so here you can see it's the Sindel 5 and Intel transition. And then full and games 2, which is the arrival. So that's the flight plan that's in. If we go into the legs, we'll make sure that the altitude restrictions are all in, which they are. Here's a step down at 210 or above, 140 or above. And if we look at Henderson, oops. What the hell? HND. Henderson Executive. And you look at the arrival, and you look at the Games 2 arrival. And we'll see which runways we can use. Well, pretty much anything. But with how short this flight is, we'll actually go ahead and we'll load the approach. If you look at the winds, it's showing 230, so the approach. Nice. We don't even have that. Okay, so let's see. Initial 35 left is what we have there. But if you look, we're doing 17 left. So, well, we might have to do the circle to land. Holy shit. Nice. Okay. Yay. Just great. And then here's a review of our C. Boulder City coming in. And another circle to land. Alright, so circling the runway 35 left, not authorized at night. Use local terms. Well, because this is a northbound heading, we're going to have to land on 35 left, it looks like. Which is weird because here we did 17 left. Right, so 35 left, circle to land 17 right. Okay, so 17 right. Departing, 17 operates daily. Okay, well, here's what's interesting. Challengers. Holy shit, I've never done the circle the land approach. There's the INS coming in. Jesus Christ, this is going to be intense. Holy shit. Okay. Alright, approach. See how this loads in. And you have, of course, the visual. But we are going to put in the RNAV. And yeah, Gerard is going to be our initial approach fix. We're coming in from, well, southwest. South from the west. So we could put in Skiber as well. And if we execute that, there's our borrow mins. We are approach category. Well. Yeah, we'll be approach category C. And that'll give us a borrow min of 3880 as our MDA. Jesus Christ. Okay, well. Fuck it. Unable flight plan alternates. Okay, well that's fine right now. So here's your approach. If we... Yeah, let's change it back from the hydraulic page. Okay. And we zoom in real quick. Alright, let's... oops, change it to the plan mode. Oops. Remember how to step through the like plan here. I wonder if it's on the flight plan page. No, legs. Oh, there we go. Next. Here we go. Okay, so here is the arrival. There's let's put that here. There's Gerard. Well, there's Skiber and then Gerard. Skiber's all the way here. If we again pop this out, we can do Gerard as our initial approach fix. So we'll actually just move this into here and execute that. There we go. And then we'll get that going again. And then here it is, 3-5 left. Circle to 1-7 right. Yuck. I've never done a circling approach in the simulator, so we'll see how it goes in this. And then we'll get the pressurization panel set. Oh my god, this is going to be quite nice indeed, I guess. Cool. Let's again transfer the format here to this mode. You have the data, takeoff reference, and all of that, which is fine, but we'll get that back there. We'll go back to the legs page. What we can do now is go into the perf init page. And actually before that, since the irises have aligned, we can go to the pause init page and set our position to our GNSS system, since that's going to be more accurate. And now we can go to our perf init page, and we'll cycle through the rest of our checklist. Alright, pressurization panel, if we come up here, and we load up our current airport, which is Oakland. Oops. Okay, Oakland. And elevation's 4, which is fine, and that for altimeter setting 30 or so, probably like around there. Set that in here. And we'll set that in our standby. Okay. It is windy. Great. But yeah, this is definitely going to be one of the more challenging approaches that I've done in any simulator. But yeah, we'll finish programming this. Okay, pressurization panel is set. Bleed air panel is fine. This is fine. Emergency lights, passenger signs. Okay, so smoking on, seatbelt armed, emergency lights armed. Alright, that's all fine. That's fine. Integrated is fine. Clock is fine. EFIS. Okay, ground spoilers, auto thrust reversers checked and armed. Okay. There's in the shut-off position, speed switches on, vibration check. Okay, smoke detector, trims, and mock trim. So we'll come down here, we'll set the trims. So stabilizer trim, extinguished, mock trim, gauged on, yaw dampener. Okay. That's our trims. And yaw dampener engaged. IRS is aligned. CPLC is fine. TCAS fine. ADAS clearance. FMS flight plan wouldn't update per full program. The rest of this. So this is where it actually gets a little bit interesting. So actually what we'll first do is we'll go to the wind update and send that. While that's sending, we'll go into the fix info page, and we want to do a distance, I guess, or a radius. If we put in HND, okay, and distance we put category C circle minimums, unless this has non-standard circle minimums. Okay, let me execute this. Okay. Yeah, this says 0 pounds to our destination. Okay, let's charge the SED 5,500. Reserves are 926. And actually, let's go here. Clear this out real quick. Let's do this. Passengers, 9 passengers. Cargo is 400 pounds. And fuel, sensed fuel. There we go. And that's good over there. Execute. Reserves, 926. And taxi fuel is 300 pounds. Okay, and that's all good here. We're about plenty of time once we get to our alternate. About an hour and 45 minutes of fuel. Okay, that's fine. If let's do this. Let's go. Oops, no. Let's do. Airport. Here's the approach. General. Commercial airport traffic arriving from southeast during daylight. Additional runway information. Takeoff, visual climb, vote, BCOA, takeoff, filing as alternate. Okay. I wonder if
Circling radius is 2.7. So let's do. I wonder if it'll even put us a 2.7. Well, don't let us do a radial, which sucks. Well, let's see. Let's again get this into the plan mode. Oops. And go to the end here. Aha! It does work. There's a 2 point. There's our circling. And then let's do the inverse, which is 17 right. KHND 17 right. Damn it. Well. This will be fine then. Okay, let's now look at our departure here. The Sindel 5 from Oakland, and we'll make sure that that looks fine. Well, here's Oakland. And departure, Sindel 5. What do we have on here? Sindel. Port, UTOB. Sindel 5 to Entel. And here's Entel. And we're departing off of runway 30. Heading 296 to 520 feet. So we'll dial that in. 296 to 520, then direct to Lee J at or below 2000, then on track 296 to Sindel, then left turn direct across port at or below 10,000, top altitude is 10,000. We'll dial that in, and here you can see is there's that Lee J at or below 2000. So maintain 10,000, expect filed altitude 10 minutes after departure. Alright. That's, you know, if we have lost comms. But, there we go. So, there's our departure. This is gonna be insane. Yeah. Alright. This is gonna be fun, but it's gonna be intense. So yeah. Alright, this is fine, and we'll go back to our legs page. Actually, we still need to set up the perf page here. Okay. Which is our takeoff data. So we'll get our takeoff data in, and then we should be good to go. Okay. Alright, let's get this on the legs page. And we'll take the takeoff information here. So VNAV setup, make sure that the VNAV is set up correctly, and then we should be good to go. We are cruising today at flight level 410. And this is fine to me. This is not Mach 0.72, it's Mach 0.78. And we're cruising today at Mach 0.80. And execute. Alright, now we'll go into the takeoff page. I wonder why the alternate is showing like that, but anywho. Okay, Do, 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 do. Alright, let's go back to Oakland and get the weather. So weather is 250 at 21, gust 26, that's 4, that's 2, that's 23. And outside air temperature is 14 degrees, QNH 3007. Okay, runway slope. We'll just leave it at 0. That's fine. Center of gravity trim we can get from the payload. 29 is what we'll put. Okay, and then this says our engine bleed is off. But we will have our 10th stage bleed on. So we'll get this to 10th, and that's good there. Here's a 670 foot per nautical mile, and if we load the departure here and we go look at the minimums, standard with minimum climb of 500 foot per nautical mile to 520 feet. 500 foot per nautical mile. Oops. Foot per nautical mile to 520 feet. If we take off obstacle notes off of 30, lighting pole 582 from yeah, so 582, and that's to 520. Obstacle height is 582. So if you look here, this will get us our, well, if I clear this and we see distance requires that's fine there. And then these are our V speeds, and we'll send that. So now we have the V speeds into the PFD. Oh, it looks like we have 3 viewers here. Alright. Let's see what else we need to do real quick. There. Takeoff data is fine. That's our charts and instruments. Departure briefing, and then we'll go into the engine start checklist. And then we're going to go. So, actually, before I do the engine start, I'm going to use the restroom prior to that. But, yeah, so let's actually... Alright, I think we actually already did brief our briefing when I did all of that. But we'll verify that. You can see in the legs page here that it all makes sense. Like, here's 520, 296, heading 520 feet. And that's that performance figure as a place in space, and then direct to Liege, and then Sindel and Port at or below 10,000. So yeah, that looks good. It's programmed correctly, so it'll sequence it correctly, which is important. And then all that's left is the airport info page, and we'll taxi to 30, which is all the way down here. So it's quite a long taxi, but we'll flip around and taxi via Charlie Alpha Bravo. This is a crazy long taxi, but it's fine. There's Bombardier. And yeah, we're good to go. So I'm going to tinkle real quick, and I'll be right back.
Alright, I am back. Let's go ahead and start up the engines. This is going to be quite the flight, so yeah. Okay, doors are closed. Park and brake is... We'll check that it's set. Which it is. Good. Fuel quantity is good, and beacon, fuel boost pumps, and ignition armed. So, beacon, fuel boost pumps, and we'll arm ignition B. So we'll start engine number 2, and then once the N2 is above 20%, we'll inject fuel, and then that can get us into the after start checklist. Okay, so we'll hold this down for 2 seconds here. Start, armed. N2 is rising. There's 14, and there's 20. Some fuel in. Alright, looking good. And I will get synthetic vision on both sides. Okay. Good engine start on engine number 2. We'll start up engine number 1 here momentarily. Alright, engine number 2 is stable. Start up engine number 1. Start. N2 is rising. N2 is past 20. Inject some fuel. Alright. And engine number 1 is going. Our trim needs to be 4.6 units. Like that. Okay. Engine number 1 is looking good. And then we'll get this to the AC electrical page. And engine number 1 is stable here. So what we'll do is we'll get the generator 1 and 2 on, and you can see the bus tie is going to tie itself so that our engine generators are supplying AC electrical power to our buses. Okay, that looks good up top. So Gen 1 and 2 on, ignition disarmed, packs on, 14th stage open. Okay, so ignition is disarmed. We'll open the 14th stage bleeds. And rest is a flight control check and no steer arm and all the anti-eye systems, auto throttle system, ATC, and then there's the taxi checklist. Okay, so head up top again, and we'll get the we'll actually leave the windshield heat and probes off for now. We'll grab we'll get the windshield heat on to low. We'll get the probes on once we're ready to take off here. Okay, what we need is our taxi light, and then we're good to go. We'll look at the hydraulic page here, and you can actually see now that our engines are supplying hydraulic pressure, and it's pressurizing throughout. We have 65, 65, 59. Outboard, inboard brakes. That's fine. Let's go to the flight control. There you can see ailerons are looking good. Rudder, elevator, and of course, alright. Flight control's free correct. Back to this page. Okay, taxi lights and flaps. Radar weather, takeoff briefing, and then before takeoff checklist. So, recog taxi light on. Rest of this up top looks good. And we are good to go. So let's release the parking brake and have this back on the index page. Starting our taxi. I'll whip her around. Move this to the chart page, and you can actually see the airport diagram pulled up here, which is pretty nifty. And there is a zoom function, so you can zoom that in. There we go. But we're going to use this one to reference our ourselves while taxiing, and I'll set this to the departure page. All right, and I'll just have that like that. All right, so we're taxiing on out. Yeah, the textures look just great. Another thing we need to do is set our toga mode. So press this, and that gets toga, and 1 takeoff. And there's your engine bleeds. See how it says 10th bleed? And if you go into the perf page here, you can see this is engine bleed is off. So actually, that's what we need to do. Let's actually set the engine bleeds here off. And verify that the obstacle climb gradient is good, which it is, and send that. Okay. Alright. We will make a right onto Bravo here, and get our anti-collision light on as we cross the runway environment. Alright. And I'll get my headset on once we are ready for takeoff here. And then we'll keep this on once we cross 10 right. And well, actually, there you can see it. The co-pilot does it for us. How about that? Okay. And about to cross 10 right here, so we'll do the same. Anti-collision can come on. And once we're clear of that, we'll get the anti-collision off. Apply a little bit of brake as I make that turn. Actually, the co-pilot will do it for me. First officer, sorry. Alright, and he gets the lights for me. Cool. This is a very, very intense thing here, but yeah, there we go. You can actually click this to push the yoke down. But yeah, don't like how the textures went to shit. That's something that this does sometimes to preserve memory. But yeah, you can see it does that to preserve memory. Not a big fan of that, but is what it is. Alright. Continue this taxi, we'll make a left turn here. There we go. There you can see the textures are kind of loading back in. They dynamically load, but yeah. Alright. Oof. Okay. Left onto whiskey. Okay. And this texture will go back up once we're get better performance here. Alright. And that wind is kind of pushing us on the ground. If you look here at the professional turbulence engine, see that the calm air here, let me actually go to the aircraft. You have that, so pretty cool. Oh. Alright, a little bit of toe brakes. I'm about to join, not this first left, this is for the terminal. There's your main terminal. But we'll keep this going. And Okay. Continue left on a whiskey here. We'll get our probes on. Now we just need a taxi all the way down to the runway, and we'll be good to go. Alright, takeoff config okay. That's interesting that our standby was kind of odd looking. Alright, and we'll take it all the way to Whiskey 1. There's Whiskey 3. Look at that windsock, it is sailing. It's not what we want, but it's what it is. Okay. And slow down here. My seat height thing got a little bit adjusted. Alright. We'll hold short, run through before takeoff checklist, and then we'll be good to go. Alright. Here's the ILS hold short line. We'll hold short of the hold short line. And head down here and set the parking brake. Alright, let me increase the height of my chair here. Okay, I don't know why it's sometimes a little finicky on the old thing. I really hope that's not a fucking spider on the ground, I swear to God. If that's a fucking spider, I'm gonna lose my shit. It's thankfully not. Okay. Good deal. Sorry, the spiders here are kind of ridiculous. Alright. Oh, and we'll get the traffic and weather radar on. Master signs are good, anti-collision light, probes, windshield's fine. Continuous, and it's good. So this is just going to be the landing gear, flaps, thrust reversers off, and we'll run through this once we need to do that. Alright, and close out of this, and we'll put it onto this page. Come up top, ignition to continuous. Anti-collision light on, nose light on, landing lights to pulse. And we're ready to go. Okay, so this is on takeoff mode for the lateral navigation. We'll arm nav. So this will arm the lateral navigation mode. And then for vertical, we'll engage it once we need to. Once we accelerate past 120 knots, we'll retract our flaps. Yeah, so you can see climb 520. That's fine there. We'll release the parking brake and we'll get on moving. So what I am going to do is basically once we are lined up and are on the takeoff roll, I'll start the clock as well. But you can see that this is saying our engine bleeds are off, and if I go into the perf menu, engine bleeds are off, and it's on takeoff. Okay, and I'll add some brakes here so I can get it lined up with the runway. There we go. Alright, on the runway, and if you look at the windsock, it is sailing. Okay. And apply our takeoff power here. Apply about 40 to 50% N1 and stable. And I'll accelerate it up. Auto throttle system is engaged. So there's the takeoff power.
And one hold is fine, accelerating. Okay, there's a rotation speed here. We'll slowly pitch back up. Nice. Gear up. We have a positive rate of climb. There's LNAV coming in. 400 feet, pitching down. And so now we'll go direct to Liege. Pitch down. Above 800. Flaps up. Okay. I'm gonna trim here to release some of that control pressure. Okay. Whoop. That wind is definitely knocking us around. Alright. And we'll go level change. 250. Alright. And engage the autopilot. LNAV 1 autopilot flight level change 245. Accelerate 250. And should be making a left turn to Sindel now. And below 2,000. Alright. And there's 10,000. Okay. As we're making that turn, we'll run through our landing gear is up, flaps up, thrust reverser is off, ignition off. Pressurization is fine, PAX transition, and N1 to climb. So, PAX transition, that's over here. So we'll close this up. So these are depressed in and these are pushed out. And making that left-hand turn. So now we'll go to 10th bleed, climb thrust. Should have started our chrono earlier. And APU generator off and then shut down our APU. So APU gen off. Shut down the APU, and like that. And we're good to go. After takeoff checklist is complete. Alright. So we'll just stay below 10,000 until we hit port. And nose light off. There we go. Lovely, lovely departure. There's the headphone for headphone simulation. Okay. If you look at the time, we've got about a minute till we go to port. We were at about 5 minutes. We're at 6 minutes here. Once we cross port, we'll do an unrestricted climb up. And that's that. Stower EFB. Alright.
It's our descent checklist, but we'll move this into the summary page. Or menu. Alright. Got to start that left turn. And then we'll reset this up to 410. See how it's still in the out hold mode, but we'll reset all this to 410. Okay. There you can see it switches on over, making a left-hand turn. And as we're passing through port, we'll make a climb. So we'll go back into level change. And we'll go VNAV, so to V flight level change. And we'll resume 250. And it's going to start pitching up here. As we're passing through 10,000, our landing lights can go off. And we are good on that regard. So we're swinging this out. And I can retract this, and you can see our top of climb and our top of descent. Look at that, 5,000 foot per minute climb. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Alright. And make another left-hand turn. Alright. There he goes. And there's that left-hand turn. And we're about to pass through flight level 180. Again, look at how gorgeous this all looks. Man. Really is beautiful. And there's flight level 180, so we'll go standard barometric pressure here and here. Continuing that climb out. Alright, so good climb, and we'll climb on out. And then I will catch you guys as we approach our top of descent. And I'll see you later.